In air travel, it's always sunny above the clouds. The weather could be varied on the ground, but when you fly during the day above the clouds, it's always sunny above the clouds. There are two dimensions. A dimension below that's varied, different weather, raining, etc. And then there's a consistent zone that's above the clouds. And so too we believe that there are two dimensions. There's a dimension of time and space, the world that we live in, which is a limited realm. Time and space is limited zones that happen sequentially. We're in this moment now, we'll be in another moment then, we're in this space now, in a different space then. It's a divided zone, and as we speak, there's a zone that's above this world that is all connected and it's all one, and it's an eternal realm that's not affected by time. And our goal is to take that immortal and make our lives a portal of that realm. I want my life should be a portal, should be a conduit that I take the eternal and I bring that to the mortal. I take what's eternally true, and in my mortal life, I am an emissary, I'm a portal of that zone. That's all of our lives. And the only way we said to do that is through one entity called Chachma, called wisdom. Only when you connect your mind to that light, to that idea, can you bring that ideal into the real. But the only way to know it is to know it in an applied manner, to do it, to act upon it. You may learn a lot from an MBA program, but the ultimate way that you actually connect and own that wisdom is when you go out and you work. You're utilizing that wisdom, you're connecting to that wisdom, but it happens through action. And so too says the Torah, the prerequisite for this wisdom is humility. But the final frontier of this wisdom is action. And that's why the Torah teaches us, when is Chachma a good wisdom? For those who do it. L'chol osehem, if you do wisdom. But the Talmud teaches us that what is doing it? What does it mean to do wisdom? It's two specific zones. Teshuvah, which means to return or to fix, and ma'asim tovim, and good deeds. The obvious question is, I hear that it has to be done. I have to do it. Osehem. But why these two things? That the two main occupation of a Jew is involved in teshuvah and ma'asim tovim. What are these two things, and why are they applied wisdom? I'm going to give you two angles, and both angles are true at the same time. The first basic angle is, as we said before, because we are a combination of two elements. So when you take Chachma, wisdom, and you apply that, so you bring out who you are and make that real. So we all have a soul inside that will last on an eternal level. And my soul is purely good. But the only way you'll see my soul is if I do good deeds. Ma'asim tovim. Ma'asim means actions of goodness. So simple level actions of goodness. Oh, I do a mitzvah, I'm doing good. On a deeper level of ma'asim tovim, it means everyone in this room is unique. There's something special. We share the same fabric as being a soul, but we are all unique and we all have qualities. The gateway to success is knowing what you're good at and how you can take and apply your talent to this world. Know yourself. Know what you're good at. I'm a nice person. I like to help people. I can never be a doctor. I would never be able to be a nurse or a paramedic or randomly get somebody a Band-Aid when they're bleeding. It freaks me out. It's not my forte. I'm not going to go to a training course and try to outdo that. I know what my talents are. That's not one of them. And I'm going to find what I'm good at. I'm going to bring that out to this world. as I've mentioned, you will not be remembered by what you wanted to do. You will only be remembered by what you did. Maasim Tovim is when you take the unique elements of your soul and bring it to this world. That's your contribution. You sing your song in your way. That's good deeds, Maasim Tovim. And then there's Teshuvah. Teshuvah means to return. On a deeper level, it means to fix. The concept is, the conundrum of life is that we are humans where our alignment of our car is perpetually bent to the wrong direction. Sometimes you have a car, and even when you drive straight, you have to kind of angle it to the right because the alignment pulls it towards the left side. Our alignment is off. Our alignment always pushes us like a gravitational pull downward towards the least amount of action and the most laziest way. It's not that I'm bad, just that I'm lazy. I don't want to do things. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Somebody told me a nice phrase, that life begins when your comfort zone ends. But on a natural level, I don't want to leave my comfort zone. Because of that, I am always messing up. Now here's the key realm, is that we are always balancing between what's the ideal, what's the real, and how can I incrementally make myself connect to that ideal. In this process, I'm going to mess up, and I own that. And that's not going to make me quit. I'm just going to fix what I messed up. Let me slow that down and explain it. There's the ideal. I learned the Torah. This is where a person should be. Now in psychology, should is a controversial word because should could cause you to feel guilty. And there's a movement to say, oh, don't say should. Don't ever say should. Okay, I hear that should could make you feel guilty, but there are good shoulds. A good should is don't steal. A good should is if you find something, return it. A good should is that you should not diss your friend behind their back. That's a should. That's real. And all of us will mess up in the shoulds that we believe in. In the zone of Torah where I want to be and where I am, there's a differential. I am not where I should be. Now here in human nature, the tension is that, you know what, if I could just get rid of the should, I'll be cool with who I am. I don't want to lower my self-esteem. I'll just drop the should and accept who I am. That's a good philosophy when it doesn't matter. It's a bad philosophy where it really matters. As an example, I am not good in basketball. Not good. I'm a perpetual B team player in camp my entire career. Just be like, no, I don't even want the tension about the sixth person. Be like, B team. Here's how I play. Ready? You pass the ball to me, I'm going to pass it back to you. I'll dribble a little bit, but I'm not shooting. Too much pressure. Layup, I have no desire. I'm a team player. It means, yeah, here you go. All right, right back to you. You go. I'm letting you go. I'm really nice. Not that I'm really nice, that I'm really bad at basketball. And I admit that. And I'm not going to work on that because I don't have to work on that. That's not something that's part of my should realm. I am fully accepting of the fact that I am bad in basketball. That should could be devalued because it's not part of my growth program. But the should of greeting people nicely, the should of trying to learn Torah on a consistent basis, that's a should that I'm going to keep. And I hereby accept the fact that I will miss the mark. I hereby accept the fact that where I should be and where I am will be different. And that's when self-esteem is at risk. Because if I were to still be in camp, and we had to play basketball. There was no choice. I couldn't get out of it. I tried. I couldn't get out of it. So if I had to play basketball all the time, I would resent this differential between where I should be and where I am. But when it comes to the purpose of life, I'm going to be cool with the differential between where I am and where I should be. And if I every day can incrementally notch myself further towards the should, then I'm on the road. So that's called perpetual teshuvah. What is the action of wisdom? It's when you make it real by maasim tovim, good deeds, and teshuvah means fixing and building. Everything in my life, I'm going to build good. If I'm good at something, I'm going to bring that out. I'm going to make that real. And if I mess up at things, which we all do, I'm going to fix that. I'm not going to give up the game or rationalize my stuckness because I'm too insecure to admit that I am not where I want to be. We all come to points of rationalization. I'm not good at basketball, I'm good at other things. Who cares about basketball, etc. I'm not going to rationalize my desire to be a good human being. I'm mortal, I'm here for a short time. I want to leave a legacy of goodness. I don't want to die without having contributed to the world. So I'm not giving up, but I'm going to be cool with my consistent mess-ups. As I've mentioned to you, the phrase that I've invented is, yesterday I was an idiot and tomorrow I'll be one today. Meaning, yesterday, looking back now, what I know now, yesterday I was an idiot. And tomorrow, when I learn new things, I will be one today. I am in this perpetual zone. That's the two realms of Teshuvah and Ma'aseh Tovim. Now, on a higher level, it goes like this. That time is relative. So there's a zone in which things are not permanent. Things are not set, where everything is one. And therefore, even though I messed something up in the past, but if I really connect and I do teshuvah and I accept that this is part of the process of life, then my mistakes can ultimately become a mitzvah, a good deed. Another way to interpret this piece of Talmud is that the purpose of wisdom, the ultimate purpose of wisdom, is to do teshuvah, to fix yourself to the point where your past misdeeds become positive deeds. If you are humble and you accept the process of life, you will understand that your mistakes are what led you to your newfound realizations. Meaning, I messed up, I did something that's wrong. But if I didn't do that thing that's wrong, I would not be here today. I never would have realized what I realized. And if I fully connect, I can pop out of the zone of time and go above the clouds to that eternal zone where everything is one, and I can make my past, I can erase the past and make it into a good deed. What do you mean? But you did what you did. But if I can do teshuvah now, which means fix who I am, then what the mistake that generated this moment of clarity ultimately becomes a positive realm. In other words, I messed up, said something stupid. It happened, but I can airlift above the clouds and reconnect to a point where I could make that stupidity into a positive. If I alley-oop off the stupidity and I accept this process called application of Chachma. What are Jews about? We're applying Chachma, taking what we know and making it real, being cool with the differential between the ideal and the real, and incrementally moving ourselves. And if I do that with love, then I can take my past mistakes and turn them into something that's real. So we mentioned before that the ultimate prerequisite to obtaining Chachma is humility. Humility is the groundwork, that's the vessel. All wisdom is irrelevant if you are defensive, if you are stuck, if you are finite. If you're not open, there's no need to get involved in wisdom. But the application and making the wisdom real also requires humility. The acceptance of wisdom requires humility, and the application and making it real, bringing the ideal into the real, also requires humility, because it's the outward admission of my fallibility, my mess-ups. I'm stuck in a perpetual game of basketball. But it's a game of basketball that's the purpose of life. So I'll overcome my ego, I'll accept my mistakes, I'll work on it, I'll learn how to play better, and eventually I will get to where I should be. The concept of life is lining yourself up with a should and where you are, and not letting that diminish your self-esteem. You're not where you should be. Most people in life just rationalize the should, forget about it. I am who I am. It is what it is, whatever that phrase means. It is what it is. Just basically you said nothing. Just filling up time. It is what it is. Okay? Yeah, the rationalization is like, I give up. It is what it is. I can't change. This is who I am. Accept me for who I am. You'll never get anybody to accept you for who you are in the stuck zone and disconnected from the purpose of life. And most importantly, you shouldn't accept who you are in that context. So who is a good musician? Someone that has good teachers, that models their style of music off of somebody, and always feels in their musical career that they're almost where they should be. I'm almost there. I one day want to play like him, and I'm getting there. I'm not totally bad, but I'm not there yet. If you could just accept that one subtle realm of I'm not there yet, that means I keep the real, I keep the ideal, and I believe that the real is on the road, but I am so cool with the difference. That is the ultimate application of Chachma, and parenthetically, that's the ultimate application in relationships. In other words, here is the poison, the kryptonite of all relationships, is that if you are unable to admit that you're human, and that you come with mistakes, and that you're working on yourself, nobody will be able to live with you. Because we can't tell you anything. Anything we mention, you have an excuse. Anything we mention, you find something else. Well, you do this. Okay, that wasn't the subject. That doesn't even it out. Okay, but you do also this. Oh, I guess you're right, we're even. So what I said before is actually null and void, completely irrelevant, because I also have mistakes. Where did you get the notion that I was coming from a point of perfection and that you're so insecure that if I point out what you're doing, you immediately have to tally this, even it up? No. Yeah, I do that. I own that. That's not contrary to my self-esteem. Let me save you a lot of money in psychology bills right now. If you dislodge your self-esteem from your actions, you'll be able to improve. If you tie your self-esteem to your actions, and then if I tell you, by the way, you have some tuna fish on your face, maybe you want to get it off, be like, okay, but last night when we were out, you had something on your tie, I didn't even mention that to you. Okay, you want to go back and mention it to me? It's fine. I had that on the thing. You have a piece of tuna fish on your face. Do you want me to not say anything? I think you'd like, did I ever say I'm the best eater in the world? Am I like some like champion, like competitive food guy that could like just eat lots of hot dogs quickly? Like, you know, I never get anything on my face. You, on the other hand, you have tuna fish on your face. It's like, no, I'm helping you out. Be like, oh, thanks. Because sometimes when I eat, food just splatters all around. I'm fine with that. I am fine with food malfunctions. That's okay. All of us should be well aware. We have napkins and we have each other. Work out signals. Little like hand signals, be like, okay, food on the face, and be like, oh, thanks for telling me. So my self-esteem and my actions are not lodged together. If you can get that, that means you're open for the application of Chachma. So when we say the purpose of wisdom, what's wisdom? That changes your perspective. That changes your sight. And life, who are you? You are perspective. And what's the goal? To grow. And how do you grow? Through what you know. And how do you make knowing real? By applying that. And what is the ultimate application of all that you know? Is changing who you are, is becoming. And therefore, in conclusion, the word osehem, one of the commentators says, what does it mean for all those who osehem, who do it? Doesn't mean you do the wisdom. Osehem means you create yourself. Wisdom is good for those who create themselves. The purpose of creation is to complete the process of creation. We are all incomplete, and the goal is to take wisdom through your free choice and make it real through your free choice. And what does that look like? Fixing and building. The end. Thank you guys.